Hello Internet, we present to you the tool Ecodex. It's a simple tool where you can go ahead and search for anything you want, literally anything. We'll go ahead and search for Tesla stock, and we'll go ahead and select the date of these APIs. The external APIs that we're using may be a bit slow sometimes, so we'll wait for it. While this happens, let's go to the source, the reason why we developed Ecodex. It's a tool that brings you closer to market sentiments and opinions, but why do we want to get there? Well, let's start with the story of Heyman Guy. He used to run a show called 2020 on the news channel CNBC TV 18. I've been running this for a couple of years now, and he would start his show from 7:20 a.m. He would recommend stocks to investors, talk about them, maybe bring on some other people to analyze them, so on and so forth. And that was before the market opening time of 9 a.m. This will become important in a second. Recently, he got involved with the SEBI, which is the Securities and Exchange Board of India. Apparently, he had been running a scam. He would buy substantial amount of stocks, and then the very next day, 7:20 a.m., he would recommend this to investors. That would create some amount of awareness, some amount of hype, and general interest in the stock, thus raising the price. And as soon as the market opening time hit, which was 9 a.m., he would exit from the stocks. This is known as a pump and dump kind of scheme. And these are quite unfortunately not uncommon. Big companies like Enron have been involved, and cryptocurrency scams like these pop out quite often. All of this leads to this important question of trust. Who can you really trust? While and there's this question of news articles are biased, the people who write them are biased, and maybe the people who host some of these shows are biased. Maybe they'll bring on people with their own set of biases, like people to analyze and people that explain charts. This is an issue that we can solve. This is why we present to you Ecodex, a tool that echoes reality. Now, this is our three-part solution where we include news APIs, Reddit APIs, and Twitter APIs. The reason why we do this is because while individual authors may be biased, and while Reddit posts, some of them may be outlandish, and while tweets may be paid, when we collect a large amount of them, not just one or two or 10, but maybe hundreds and thousands of them, we can get closer to the true reality. At that point, the individual peaks of biases cancel out, and the true nature of a stock, a person, or whatever you want to search starts to come out on the top. This is sort of our project at a glance, where the user submits a query, like we did for Tesla. The backend retrieves all of the important data, sends it back to Streamlit, where we pass it on to expert.ai's APIs to gather insightful data. And once we have that analyzed data, we'll pass it on back to the user. Now, before we fully dive into expert.ai's APIs and how we utilize them formally, let's look at some of the examples we have. Take a look at this news, for example, which says fastest electric cars ranked by how far they go, 0 to 60 miles per hour. Pretty standard, right? And we even have a tag called vehicle car, which you can just search for it. This is a pretty neutral news, right? Similarly, we have a news like this. US safety agency says that it's open probe into 10 Tesla crashes. Obviously, that's a negative news, and we mark it as such. In fact, yellow color signifies a neutral sentiment, red a negative, and green a positive. So, uh, take for example this one. It says three leadership lessons to learn from Elon Musk. That's obviously a positive sentiment. We're talking about some professional activity, some quality of human nature. All of this you can get at a glance. Obviously, all of them, by the way, lead back to their original posts, as you can see here. Let's also talk about. Oh, by the way, there's also some talks of Germany here, which we'll get back to very soon. But Let's go to some of the Reddit time maybe. And so we have from the subreddit investing, where people have written some posts here. They are labeled as positive sentiments, but their score is very negative. So these kind of like little data points can be very insightful for an investor. Now, while this goes on, let's talk about. Okay, I think it's done. Yeah, it's done. So let's talk about the top entities that we talk about. So we search for Tesla stocks. So obviously, Tesla comes in top. Reuters is media outlet, so we also see that. But Apple is coming here for some reason. Elon Musk still makes sense, and it's 25%. Maybe there's some interesting insight there. And so this sort of provides you this kind of dense information, and you can immediately look, okay, Apple seems a bit weird, so maybe we can go investigate. Similarly, top locations, United States of America, expected from a USA company, but we also see Oklahoma and Germany. And if you remember, I mentioned Germany, which was present in one of the news. And so this is sort of the information that we've extracted, and you can immediately see what's going on. Similarly, for emotional or behavioral traits, we have some very negative kind of points here, because obviously we're talking about some amount of death here and there, so that's why it's being shown here. But uh, this is not all actually. We also have one secret little thing here, which is the overall sentiment. So remember how we tagged positive and negative ones? We have all of this at a quick glance available for you. Pretty cool, right? It gets even cooler. See, because we haven't hard coded anything, you can search for Elon Musk if you want, and we'll get data for Elon Musk as well. This may take a bit of some this may take a bit of time. So, by the way, let me also mention we have everything present to you as parameters. You can sort Reddit data by the scores, by a date. You can restrict the number of comments to return. You can restrict the limit of news. Maybe you can make it 100 if you want. Whatever you want, everything is there to control. Let's look at the APIs a bit formally. So, talked about sentiment, the pie charts that are shown, the individual tweets and the posts are labeled, and we also show the entities and the knowledge. So, we'll mark, as you can see, some of these were bold. So, Elon Musk was bold, BNN was bold, uh, LinkedIn 2030, so on and so forth. So, we also mark important entities. Along with those tags that I mentioned, like saying vehicle, car, all of them can be searched. This is not all. We also have document classification. As I mentioned, we talk about emotional traits and behavioral traits. So these are the ones here. And we also talk about where the tweet is from, where the Reddit post is from. So the locations that I mentioned, along with this is sort of really a complete analysis for anything that you want. So this may take a bit of time to fully complete. But here, for example, we again see this one, which is positive, and maybe some neutral ones here and there. So everything is out there for you to try. Go ahead and experiment. Go ahead, search for anything you want, and we'll promise you that you will get closer to market reality. This is all from our side. Thank you for watching.